Guilt doesn't stop temptations. It usually makes them stronger. Now, the number one thing I want you guys to understand is that temptation is information and not failure. When you feel tempted to do something, you should have no guilt. You should have no fear. God tells us many, many times over and over and over again, do not fear. In other words, do not feel guilty because you are not guilty. That is a feeling that comes from committing sin itself. If you are tempted to do something, do not fear. If you've already made the decision, you've already made the mistake, you might feel a little bit guilt, but do not fear. Things are going to get better, right? Everything comes with a process and it takes time. And that's okay because guess what? That's exactly how God's organized and created this world. Anybody that's ever had to overcome anything hard has had to take the time and really grind into it. Now, I have been through a lot. I've been through many different kinds of addictions. Many I just don't really talk about, but if you really look through my channel, you'll find it. And I want to say this. Something that I found was rather prevalent all the time was just the feeling of guilt. Now, I've talked about the difference between guilt and shame, but guilt is maybe one of the most common. Shame is usually attributed with the repetitive cycle of sin. Guilt can come in many different ways. It can come at many different times. It can come with embarrassment. It can come with self-hate, self-loathing, maybe. I don't know. I want you guys to think about guilt and why you feel this way. Understand that guilt is a response probably from, I'm not sure exactly where it comes from, but I would imagine that it comes down from the depths of your soul, from your spirit. And it's that wailing, moaning feeling. It's like a sickness. Oh, why did I do this again? I could be so much better. I have obligations, I have responsibilities, and I've really messed myself up. I have failed myself and my family. It's usually these kinds of feelings. Now, shame comes thereafter. That's like the fruit of guilt after, guilt is acted upon. But you don't want to allow guilt in your life because guilt clouds your judgment and fuels cycles, right? When you are guilty, you get into a mode of failure, right? It is a negative thought. If you guys have ever read the book As a Man Thinketh, you will come to learn that your mind is a garden and everything that you plant in it will start to manifest. Even if the feeling is guilt, it's a response to a certain feeling, right? If you allow yourself to feel guilty for something, your mind is now focused on it and it will try and put it back out in action. That's how it works. And I don't know exactly all the science behind it, but that's just how it is. The Bible also says, and even as that book is titled, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This is definitely attributed to the way you feel as well, because simply thinking is not just a thought. It's an attitude. It's a behavior, and it can be seen upon your aura, right? It is very, very prevalent in action. So what we really think, what we consume in our minds is really what we are. It's not just what goes into our mouths, right? When your mom says you are what you eat, it's really you are what you think. And that's how we can control the narrative of our lives. When you start to feel guilty for just simply being tempted, you need to catch yourself right there, because guilt is what leads into temptation. Or guilt is what leads into action, right? If you feel guilty for something, you're more likely to fall into the temptation. You heard it here first. You could probably really think about it hard and find that that is the case. So be aware, be awake. I think there's kind of an epidemic of really forcefully putting ourselves into a dreamlike state, allowing ourselves to be in a deep sleep all the time. When we wake up, we are really still asleep because we scroll and we mindlessly watch TV and YouTube, and we are not really aware of the things that our mind is putting out. And there's thousands of thoughts a day, but we aren't aware of at least 85% of them. Made up statistic, but I'm sure it's something like that, right? You're not aware of a lot of the thoughts you have, and arguably maybe more than 85%, because your brain processes a lot of things and then filters what is important and what's not. So you need to be aware. Awareness creates space to choose differently. The second you start feeling that guilt, recognize it for what it is and understand, my Father in heaven doesn't want me to feel this way, which could only mean that this feeling is coming from one place and one place only, and that is not from me. It's not from God. Well, then it's from Satan. It's from the adversary. I've not acted on this temptation yet. Why am I so afraid? Why do I feel so guilty for feeling this way? I've not acted on it yet. And not to say that when you do act upon it, you should feel guilty either, because that's also a tactic of the devil. Rather, be aware of that feeling, recognize it as it is, see who's really communicating to yourself, and then stand up and say one simple word: no. That's the key to discipline. That is the key to success. And you can overcome any addiction that way alone, just by being aware and being able to tell yourself no, because you have power to do that. God has said you will have power to crush his skull. Whose skull? Satan's skull. Do it. Do it. You have permission. Give yourself permission. Anyways, my name is Gabriel Bowman. I hope that this video had some piece of knowledge, some piece of wisdom that really stuck out to you that will help you through your battles. Anyways, I appreciate you guys so much. I know you are fighting and you will win. Trust me. Go to that playlist section on my channel and you'll find a whole playlist on addiction. I've got lots to say about it. I've been through a lot and I would love to teach you guys more, all for free. Just go check it out. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Bye.